Right, we're going to have a quick look at some of the palms and any damage sustained over winter and see how they're bouncing back and recovering. So we'll start off with this one. This is a real easy one. It's a rather rough looking Trachycarpus, which is a transplant from roughly 18 months ago, and that's not put on any growth. But on the same note, that's not totally died and gone into shock. It's just stayed, you know, frozen in time as it was when I planted it. But yeah, didn't seem to be any adverse effects from winter. That was already looking a bit droopy in places and slight damage where I dragged it along the ground. But in general, yeah, that's exactly how it was. We have got some of the bromeliads on there now on the trunk, just to give it a bit more summer interest, make it a bit more tropical looking. So yeah, Trachycarpus, we don't expect to get too much damage on them. That's exactly the same here with the Waggy. No problem whatsoever, no damage. Now pushing 2 spears out. So what we got here, this is the Boutea aerospacer, and this is never really sustained any damage, even though it's quite a small plant. We have got a little bit of damage this year. I mean, albeit it's a very old frond, but we've got some brown tips on there, and well, we can see where it sort of died back, but that may just be part of the natural course of that. But we have got some brown spots on some of the leaves, but not an issue. We've still got plenty of centre growth, 2 or 3 fronds pushing out there. Not concerned about that. That's always been a pretty solid plant. It's been in for four winters, and from a very small seedling, and you know, never really been a problem for me. The Chamaerops Volcano, this particular one has got a really white back to the leaf. Absolutely no problem whatsoever, no damage, you know, very slight couple of brown spots on some of the leaves, which you're always going to get with the Chamaerops, but in general looking really good. Stiff leaves, you can hear how stiff they are, and loads of spears coming out the centre there. It's pushing out one now open and another 3 behind it. Kind of leads us to the very back here, just behind this Bengal tiger banana. We, I say, did have a Canariensis which was in a very poor position, because that is basically in shade all last summer, so it didn't do much, and we had spear pull on that, so I'm not expecting that to come back, and in a way I'm hoping that's not going to, so I've got a good reason just to yank it out the ground. Another Waggy there, not an issue. And of course the big purchase of last year, the big Boutea odorata. And if you recall, I did have just a shelter over the top of this, and done the job perfectly. It's really pretty much unscathed over winter, and now still looking as good as the day I bought it, and pushing out at least 3 or 4 fronds there. So yeah, now the warm weather's going to kick in, that's going to start opening up and looking rather good, I think. We have got a little Chamaerops humilis underneath that, which has always been a little bit in the shade there, but they don't mind that. Get the bigger fronds to look a bit nicer. Alright, Washingtonia robusta. I'm sure a lot of people had trouble with theirs over this winter, if they've left them in the ground, if they're not potted and stored somewhere. So this is one, again, that's been in the ground 5 years, 4 winters. It's the worst damage it's ever sustained, but yet still bounced back, so there's actually 3 stems here, or 3 separate palms, and we can see exactly where the winter damage occurred and how much has pushed out since. So plenty of green growth there, and there's a new spear coming on that one in the centre. Exactly the same on this one. See where the cold damage occurred. See the fresh new green growth, and another spear coming up behind that. And the third, we can see where we almost had a little bit of rot on that spear that's probably half out at the time, and the new spear behind it's got a little bit of rot on it as well. But luckily these grow so quick, that's pushed it out before it's caused a problem, other than a bit of mechanical damage on the leaf. Right, so the centre bed with the palms was always the biggest issue, because this is the openest, if that's a word, openest, most open part of the garden. Again, the Boutia odorata, absolutely no problem with that, no damage, so that's been a real toughie. Right, the Brahea edulis, let's have a look at this one. So this is one that was starting to look quite nice last year, the end of summer, and then that first December freeze, within 2 weeks that had all browned off and spear pulled, and to be honest I thought that was dead at that point, but we didn't give up on it. We kept the cloche on there, so we cut all the dead off. We had a little stump, kept the cloche on there. Now obviously I'm taking it off during the day, now it's sunny and hot, and yeah, so we've been rewarded. That has come back. So this is the first one that's pushed out, which is going to be a bit deformed and a bit stumpy looking, but already we've got another frond coming behind that there. So I still think it's amazing that they can come back from that after that initial damage. I thought that's a goner. So we're going to try the same trick again with the Paragibella Chirellii. So I've got a big cloche over that. We've cut all the foliage off, they've done exactly the same thing, all browned off. It's spear pulled, so with hydrogen peroxide once a week, just 20-30 ml, just to burn off any rot in there, and the cloche keeps the heat units going in and gets it going a bit quicker. So one I was disappointed about was this. This is the Princeps, not a hybrid, true Princeps palm with a pure white back leaf. So that did spear pull, and here we go, look. Even though that leaf looked green, I'll give it a little tug and it's still rotten inside. So we're getting some more hydrogen peroxide on that. This goes to show you, even though the leaf looks okay, the rot inside is taking it out. So that would have been probably midsummer before that started going nasty. So keep an eye on your palms. I weren't expecting that, to be honest. That leaf is solid, so I will be getting some more hydrogen peroxide in there, and hopefully we'll get a comeback on that. But yeah, there's still time for spear pulls, so don't just think because your palm is green still that it's going to be okay. Shame. Right, the Sable Miner took a bit of damage. One of the fronds sort of browned off, and so we're down to one green frond now. So I've put a cloche over that again to get the heat units in there and warm it up and get it growing again. I did have a cloche over the sago palm, and I still would have done it if it weren't for the fact that I had a huge ant's nest in there, and that literally covered the whole thing. So I had to take it off and break up the old ant's nest. Still a bit there, but it's not mushy in the middle, still quite solid. So I'm not going to rule out that it might come back as yet. not seen any new growth from the centre of the Chamaerops yet, but if one's going to bounce back, I'm pretty sure that would be the one. So this is the interesting one. So Jebreya, we've always been led to believe, is the hardiest pinnate palm. Yes, it's a little bit smaller than the Bootea the other side, but they are the same age, and I expected this one to take it the winter same as the Bootea odorata did, but it didn't. It did spear pull, and I'm still not seeing any new growth on that yet. So there is time. Obviously we've got the warm weather coming, so it's either going to rot the whole thing out or it's going to start growing again, so fingers crossed. Alright, so let's finish up again with, obviously not going to go through every palm I've got to go, and that'd be ridiculous, I'll be here all day, but we'll finish up with the Phoenix canariensis. So we did take damage. The older outer fronds have got some brown tips, but there's still plenty of green in them, so I'm leaving them. And the centre is looking really healthy and green. This is the spear, which was half out at the time of the freeze, and that was totally browned off, so I cut it off at that point. So this is how much is pushed out since. So this growing season, that's already pushed out at least 4-5 foot on that front, and we've got loads and loads of new growth in there. So yeah, quite surprised how well that done, really, considering how cold it was for that week or so period. Right, we'll leave it there. Just already starting to go on a bit, so thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.